If you are planning to become a nurse in Ontario, then there is an important update by College of Nurses of Ontario. CNO is going to bring 7 different ways in order to meet language proficiency, and there is already a new program launched by CNO in order to meet evidence of practice in Ontario. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel NAVPREET. I hope you all are doing well. In today's video, I am going to talk regarding updates related to nursing license in Ontario. This video is going to be useful for all the nurses who are looking forward to obtain nursing license in Ontario. So friends, without wasting any time, let's just jump into the topic. License requirement for nurses in Ontario. In order to get nursing license in Ontario, you need to meet requirements with College of Nurses of Ontario. Requirements are authorization to work, that can be met with your work permit, with your resident status, that is PR or citizenship. Education, registration exam, that is NCLEX RN or XPN. Jurisprudence exam, you will be giving test by booking online. Past offenses and findings, that is your criminal record check, health and conduct, evidence of practice, and language proficiency. Updates are related to fulfill language proficiency and to meet evidence of practice. Let's discuss new language policy for CNO. How can you meet language requirement? From March 7th onward, there are going to be 7 different ways with which you can demonstrate that you are proficient in English or French. So what are those 7 ways? So first is registration. If you are registered as a nurse in Canadian jurisdiction, then you automatically meet language proficiency requirement. Next is education. If you have completed an approved nursing education program in English or French with a clinical component in any jurisdiction within past 2 years, then you can meet this requirement. If you have completed a healthcare or healthcare support program in English or French with a clinical component in Canada within 2 years, then you can meet this requirement. If you have completed additional nursing education, that is a course in English or French with a clinical component within past 2 years, then you can meet this requirement. Moving on, we have experience. If you have practiced experience as a nurse in a predominantly English or French setting within past 2 years, then you can meet this requirement. Or you have experience working in a healthcare setting providing services in English or French in Canada within past 2 years, then you can meet this requirement. Last but not the least, if you cannot fulfill language proficiency with registration or with your education or with your experience, then language tests are another way. You can provide successful results to CNO with the approved language proficiency. So now the question comes, when this new policy is coming into effect. So new language policy is coming into effect on March 7, 2022. If you submit information related to language proficiency requirement prior to March 7, then your application will be assessed with the current policy in effect or with the existing policy. How this new policy is going to be different from the current language policy. Current policy accepts the experience reference letter to meet language from non-nursing fields like working in food industry, grocery stores, dealing with customers, cashiers, and customer service representatives. New policy will only take your healthcare or health services setting experience. Starting from March 7th onwards, CNO will only consider your experience in healthcare field in regards to reference letter related to your language proficiency. Also, a new program launched to obtain evidence of practice. So this program is called Supervised Practice Experience Partnership. This program is both for interested RN and RPN candidates. This program is a partnership program between CNO, that is College of Nurses of Ontario, Ontario Health, and CNO approved organizations. Program eligibility. Applicants who have met all the CNO requirements accept evidence of practice or evidence of practice and language proficiency. Evidence of practice should not be expired more than 5 years before applying to this program. CNO will notify eligible applicants through the online portal. This program is an option for applicants and it is not mandatory for all. So this is an extra way introduced by CNO to meet evidence of practice. Program process. If you are eligible candidate, CNO will contact you through an email. You can express your interest to participate by completing online form provided in the email. Ontario Health matches the applicant to an appropriate organization or an employer. You will meet with an employer and discuss payment along with hiring options. You can also reflect your learning needs utilizing CNO assessment form. You can start your supervised practice experience. You can also receive feedback from your trainer or preceptor. You need to complete minimum of 140 hours. The organization will submit paperwork after finishing your supervised experience. If you meet all the requirements, then there are higher chances you can obtain registration for a nursing license. Process flow chart. CNO will contact eligible applicant, then applicant can express interest to participate. On the other side, employer will be made aware about the opportunity. Employer can express interest to participate. Then CNO will approve that employer, and then Ontario Health will come into action. Ontario Health will matches you to an appropriate employer. Then you will meet an employer and start your supervisory experience. Then the organization will submit the final forms to CNO. If you believe you are eligible candidate and have not received message from CNO because your evidence of practice and language proficiency are outstanding requirements, then in this scenario, you can contact CNO at spe@cnomail.org. Program expectations. What they expect from you throughout the program. They want you to go through orientation process related to organization, practice setting, expected roles and responsibilities. Then you can also assess learning needs, goals and develop learning plans. You need to complete minimum of 140 hours under the supervision of qualified preceptor. You need to complete initial and final self-evaluation. You will gain experience under the supervision of a nurse practitioner, a registered nurse, or a registered practical nurse. You will receive feedback and have opportunity for additional learning. Supervision. So who can supervise? RPN applicants can be supervised by an RPN or a nurse practitioner or a registered nurse. Registered nurse applicants can only be supervised by either a nurse practitioner or a registered nurse preceptor. Accountabilities during the program. You should not use RN or RPN title because these titles can only be used after registration with CNO. You need to clearly explain to all, especially the client you are going to work with, that you are a CNO applicant and you are here to complete your supervised practice experience. You only provide care that you are competent to provide. You cannot supervise, cannot monitor or delegate others. Assessment by preceptor. Preceptor will assess your understanding of the nursing scope of practice, CNO practice standard, and the Ontario healthcare system. The preceptor will assess the applicant throughout practice experience. The preceptor, in collaboration with the applicant, determines how to complete the evaluations using the supervised practice experience assessment form. Program completion. After the completion of the program, your preceptor will complete and submit supervised practice experience partnership completion and assessment form. You can also see the pictures that I have attached. The preceptor is going to use the assessment form to confirm that you demonstrate your accountabilities related to CNO standard of practice. So these standards are scope of practice, competencies, interprofessional practice, practice environment, and patient-centered care. In the end, CNO will review these documents to ensure you meet all the requirements. On approval, you will get the message through the application portal to register as a nurse. So friends, that was all regarding today's video. If you like it, please leave me a comment. That keeps me motivated. Please hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon for future notifications. Thank you and have a wonderful day.